I'm using the AI, and you may use the AI for all the personal or daily tasks. And then for by coding, like I would create the MVP or prototype or mockup, create a personal website or using in the events we develop our daily jobs using AI. So, but how I can create the MVP? Recently, I had asked to develop the MVP for data governance, and also I'm trying to create one data governance tools where I can centralize everything. I have the past one, and you can watch the video. I think uploaded, and this is the second video how I can create a MVP. So in order to create a website or anything, let's say what should we have now? What should we have? Let's see. In order to create the MVP, the MVP should be the application, a website, or the tool. They should have a UI. Basically, they should have a UI. They should have a UI, right? And then they should have a backend. The UI maybe you can see this is the front end. This is the backend. In order to connect between the front end and backend, there are the API. So in order to create all the databases or the storing data, storing anything, we should have the database. And the connection between the backend and database we have as I introduced you, we have the ORM, but for now, or we can use some constraints, and we can skip the ORM and create or define all the constraints within the database. And if a website has the feature that authentication, we should have some authentication and authorizations. And then if you want to have better performance, like caching is great to have. And to deploy everything, you need to have some infrastructure. In some of infrastructure, you can start using on-premise or using cloud. They have provided you the IaaC, is the infrastructure as service, where you can host everything. And right now, I'm using the tool like a platform as service, PAC. I'm using the railway to deploy everything. You can see here. Let me open it. In the railway, I can monitor the costs, deploy the project, monitor the costs, what I can deploy. I can integrate it with the Git user. I can define all the variables or hierarchy here, or I can create another services like the service itself and connect to the applications. I can view all the metrics, monitor all the person or the CPU to automate the costs, or I can define some settings within the CI. I can enable the DNS, or I can set up the command build and command deploy. I can choose the reasons where the application can be deployed. I can configure the resource and limits, and also all the LJ path, or I can enable serverless. So if you're a developer, you will know the server and serverless. Serverless means you don't host anything about the scale up, scale down. In this one, with railway, the railway is forcing you to scale up and scale down based on the traffic of your applications. But there might be a little bit latency when they're scaling, but this performance that's saving a lot of cost. And if you took into this project, the current usage is not much. It's about 20 cents. So, and the CPU is right here, and you can monitor all the costs and all the traffic going to your website. We can have all the log files in real time. We have setting, and we can choose which environment you want to deploy, share a variable, add a team member, user tokens, or maybe monitor users. The super fun is all the infrastructure, and I recommend you to use this one. I already said the data bot how you can deploy all the data pipeline. For example, you have the ETL tool using AI. You can deploy the Postgre is just a mock-up of the data warehouse or database where you can store data. We can have a correct where you can create some visualization tools, etc. And you have a PG admin to have the administration portal to access the Postgre database and do all the personal stuff. You can check the link in the comment below. I think it's really fun. And come back to our discussions with the front end API and the backend, and how I can create the one data governance. One data governance I already showed you, and in this one we can use some kind of let me open it in file solution where you should use this. I use the V0, or you can use the code dev lovable. So and with the framework and of the Next.js, where you can all have backend and API together. This is the framework faster for building everything. And with the V0 or both lovable, or right now we have the Supabase, or we have the Supabase Studio. You can check find on the Google and check the link of Supabase Studio to download everything, right? Also, I'm using the Next.js to develop all the APIs and the backend services, all the constraint database. I'm using, like I said, I'm using the Supabase. In Supabase, they support you to create all the table, create all the authentication. I will show you what I have on the Supabase. Let me open Supabase. In Supabase, for data governance project, I have all databases here. Or the table here, we can kind of create the constraints, and also we can visualize all the connection between those tables. And in terms of if you want to have some authentication authorizations, you can define all the administration here. We have the policy, we have the sign method, we have the email limit or array limit, we have the section modifier, we have everything here. We have store to store all the objective file or objective files, and basically we are focused on the database side and authentications, which is super fun, and that's very cool for free for use. Authentication, caching. Right now I don't use any cache. I use a cookie on the client side, but it's not very much. Don't store any credential or personal data. I don't want to ingest any data. About infrastructure FAS, right now I'm using Norway. That's super fun. I think you can start to use. Alright, all the how I can create an MVP. The workflow is, first of all, I log into the V0 or the Power app. I just prompt I want to create the I want to create some tools like for data governance, data management, like this one. I just want to create this one, and I just talk to them. This is the first version of data governance tool. I changed a lot. Then once I have this mock-up version of the data governance, I integrate those with the development. I integrate them with the Supabase for authentication or storing our data. And then because we have the Git integration already, and then we can deploy using ourselves itself, or we can grant connection to deploy it through the railway. Because in a railway we have all the connections. We have everything there, and we have some specific because I plan is to add some AI stuff to that. That's why I use the railway. Like you said, all right. I think that very much about how I can create the MVP for like a web application. You want to integrate them with the backends or database. You should create some Supabase, for example. So there are the Firebase database and Firebase storage. You can store all the data. I have the project that I use the Firebase. Let me open use a style book.ai where I can this is serverless. So this is the items. You can upload your closet. You can create a closet and set the outfit, and you can use the AI stylist where you can add a prompt here, and they can suggest you what you should wear for something like a weekend outfit for daily routine or some stuff. That's really fun. I use the Supabase, use the open source and free as much as possible. The free open source, I just want to contribute to communities. And if you want to create a website or if you want to create your application or prototype, you can use my stack to create those and get the reference. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, and if you want to support me, just like the video, subscribe, or buy me a coffee, etc., or something else. And I think that's very much about this video, how I create the MVP with the vibe coding. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.